to another episode of the Boxing Coalition. My name is Cam. Joining me tonight, MV Chu, Leon, and Daniel Lim. Hope you guys are well. Start the show with a random one. Chu, how do you pronounce Felix Verdejo?
Felix Verdejo.
Leon?
Felix Verdejo.
Daniel?
Felix Verdejo.
Well, I think we're all pronouncing it wrong because, according to Mr. Joe Gallagher,
Felix Verdejo.
It's Verdejo, so I think we all need to change how we pronounce it, guys.
He's Verjazzled. He's the very, very worst person on the planet, isn't he? The very worst.
That's a bit harsh, Leon.
I know.
What's the context of that pronouncement, by the way?
He was just mentioning
What prompted him?
Other opponents in the lightweight division for Anthony Corolla.
He can't pronounce shit.
Yep. But let's move on. Quickly give a shout out to Davis Lee 1, who left us a review on iTunes. It's a 5-star review labeled Top Notch Stuff, left on the 14th of March. Love this show. It's a cannot miss podcast. Even when the fights are weak, they find interesting topics and keep you engaged for the whole 2 hours. The outro is my favourite part. Thank you, Mr. Davis Lee 1. We really appreciate that. All right, Chu.
The outro is his favourite part.
No, because the outro's so good, man. He loves the show, and then he loves it even more at the end.
So fucking if he goes to see a film, end credits. The end credits are his favourite thing.
That's true.
You fucked up, bro.
All right, Chu. Not much boxing this weekend. Haki Budlow took an L that no one expected. I couldn't find the fight anywhere. I watched Alvarado, but nothing to really say. He was fighting a journeyman and he kept getting tagged, so I think we should kind of skip over all that. And any piece of news is one kind of emerging now as the show went live, and some other pieces of news that were mentioned during the week. And what do you want to start with, Chu?
Just quickly, that guy who tweeted you, Camo, I didn't get my pick in time for Buddy Heckler. He'll be all right, won't he? He didn't get a -8.
Mo in 10, yeah. He actually said afterwards, He goes, "Can I change my pick?" I said, "Nah, being the champ doesn't extend your presence that far."
That prediction league was a field of -8s.
And the only people that benefited were people that either forgot to put a pick in, or just I've done it before where I don't know who's going to win, so I just don't make the pick. But I think it's probably people that just didn't, that just forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leo, Chu, any piece of news you want to talk about first?
Hickey Bud... What's his name? Hickey Butler. Butler. I didn't see the fight, so... The news I would like to speak about first would be the card for Amir Khan Canelo being announced. It's finalised. They've got David Lemieux against Glenn Tapia.
Death.
I think it's an interesting fight. Frankie Gomez against Herrera.
That's a tough fight for Lim's boy.
Yeah, it's make or break. And Curtis Stevens against Patrick Teixeira, who I've never heard of. So.
Teixeira. It's Teixeira.
Oh, Teixeira, yeah, okay, Teixeira.
It sounds like a Game of Thrones character. How you
sounds like a Gallagher pronouncement.
Yeah. Good Gallagher. Good.
Elocution lessons for him.
I pulled a Gallagher.
This is actually a better card than what I was expecting, but let's be honest, it's still a shit card. When your co-main is David Lemieux against Glenn Tapia, I'm not that excited for it. But, fucking boxing has reduced me to making wine out of bread. Or, excuse me, fucking water out of wine. Or wine out of water, whatever that fucking expression is.
Water into wine, mate. Water into wine.
Bread
into wine.
Coming from a chef as well,
You bum.
Oh, you don't want to see my menus. Nah, but that's a shit card.
Hey, Jesus may have some superpowers, but even he can't turn bread into wine, my friend.
I'm sure I've seen that magician Dynamo do something similar though, right there.
But I disagree.
Yeah, that's not
Stu.
a good look for Team Tapia. It's way too early, and
He's going
I
to get
think Glenn's last
seriously
fight
iced,
was his last fight was at 154 pounds, right?
and he got knocked out.
And I think Glenn Tapia. I think David Lemieux is a more vicious and more accurate of a puncher than James Kirkland is. So, and Glenn Tapia got marked by Kirkland in
But he got-
3 rounds.
What was his other loss, Cam? He lost to
Who's other
someone
loss?
else recently. What was Tapia's last fight?
That Michelle Sorrell fight.
That
where,
Sorrow stopped him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Knocked him out on the rope.
I just hope he gets a good payday. That's it.
The thing is, that was
This
his
might be
last fight.
The
That
last
was,
fight of his career.
that was his
He's
last
touched,
fight, and I'm
man.
surprised he's not had a tune-up in between, because going straight in there with Lemieux, man, that's a big
Well,
test.
let's be honest. Lemieux's not that talented, but Tapia's there to be hit. He's going to get absolutely fucking ruined.
I'm really surprised he took the fight.
Lemieux's not a bad
doesn't
fighter.
Someone doesn't like him.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Lemieux's a bad fighter. I think I certainly rate Gabe Rosado much higher than Glenn Tapia, and I know that's triangle theories, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I think Rosado is a better defensive fighter than Glenn Tapia is, and probably a more durable fighter than Tapia is as well. And he got iced by David Lemieux, and I think the same is going to happen in much quicker fashion against Glenn Tapia.
Loco made a good point in the chat to my comment, saying Lemieux is coming off a loss too, which is a good point. So they're both coming off pretty bad losses.
Yeah, but one was Sorrow and one was potentially one of the best fighters on the planet. Potentially.
True, but Sorrow did give Tapia a beating.
Yeah, but who... Yeah, but you'd rather be Lemieux in that fight, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But
That's honest.
that goes even more against Tapia though, Cam.
Yeah, he got knocked out by a
So
leopard
he got more of a beating than you would think that the ramifications would be that much greater. Whereas I really don't think Lemieux took that much of a beating against Golovkin.
That is
Golovkin
true.
had a wonderful boxing performance in that fight where he jabbed the shit out of Lemieux, and the fight ended on a pretty good note for Lemieux, all things considered.
That is true.
Yeah,
You guys are right, but I don't know. For me,
I think
Go on,
sorry,
Stu.
Cam.
Let's go.
The key factor in the fight against Tapia is what kind of hairstyle David Lemieux brings into that fight. Is it going to go with a Frank Castle Punisher look? If he does, he's got a chance. But I don't think Lemieux took that much of a punishment off Golovkin. I think the ref kind of stopped him.
He was getting pretty beaten up, to be fair, wasn't he? I mean, took some big shots still. I mean, to fair play to him for lasting that long.
It was a 9th round stoppage.
Yeah.
I mean, that ref could have saved his life, I think. So
I mean, it could have been stopped a couple of rounds before, really.
yeah.
And Golovkin was on cruise
Yeah.
control in that fight, like he usually is.
But he was starting to land bigger shots as it went on, so he got out of there pretty... Yeah, I still think he took a lot of shots, you know.
Just going back to my point, I think the reason why potentially Tapia took more of a beating is just tactically he got it wrong. I remember talking about it afterwards in the review show, and he just he should have took a knee or held or something, and he was just standing there getting hit with his hands up, and at points his hands were down. So it says a lot about his kind of boxing, as Frampton would say, his boxing brain. But
Boxing brain.
how he uses his thinking brain. But when he gets hit, he opens up. So, I mean, I just can't see anything else but a Lemieux stoppage, because if he starts to try and go to war with him, if he gets hit once, then it can't last long, can it, really? Six rounds most, I'd say.
Lim,
About to make a pick now.
Lim, there's a question in the chat from Rough Marsh. Who's more handsome, Sergio or Lemieux? I know you're a big Sergio fan.
Sergio, without a doubt. It's not even a fucking question. Who posed that question?
Rough Mush.
Oh, come on, Rothmush. How dare you? Dude, Sergio in his prime was... I think you can make the point that he was the sexiest motherfucker in boxing, right? I'm telling you, My mom fell in love with Sergio the first time that she saw him. Oh, my lord.
I don't know if you ever told that.
She didn't even care about me.
I don't know if you ever told that story on air. So do you want to tell the listeners?
Yeah, I think one time my mom actually, for some I don't know why she was at the gym with me, but she was. And Sergio was there. This was over in Ventura, and I went to one of the gyms up there just to spar, and Sergio just happened to be there, and my mom was like, just touch me on my shoulder. I was like, who's that guy, Daniel? I was like, he's Sergio Martinez. He's one of the pound for pound fighters. She's like, is he a model? I said, no, Mom, he's a boxer, not a model. She's like, oh my goodness, how does such a pretty man fight for a living? I said, beats me. I don't know. But he actually, Sergio is one of the nicest guys, and I introduced my mom to her, and he's just a cool guy. But yeah, come on, Rathel. Sergio is prime for prime. Top two sexy, definitely.
All right, going back to the fight. What was your early prediction, Leon? 5-6 rounds, knockout?
Yeah, six rounds, knockout.
Okay.
Because he's got to make a statement as well, hasn't he, Lemieux? And let's be honest, it feels like a bit of a setup. They're giving him a guy who will go to war at seemingly a drop of a hat and has been stopped numerous times recently and is easy to hit. I mean, it's a layup, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I kind of feel a bit bad for Tapia. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, but I mean, and he's moving up a weight division as well, so it's not like, yeah. So Lemieux's going to be very big in there compared to him.
What were you going to say, Chu?
The last two letters of Tapia's name is Ass, and I do think he is a bum. Really.
Whoa.
Even what's his best win?
Yeah, I love Glenn.
You can't name it.
Let's have a look.
He's a good dude, but
hey,
I think the biggest tragedy with Glenn Chu is that he was just mismanaged from the very jump. I mean, that Kirkland fight ruined him. So it's to a point where you can't even judge him. I mean, you can judge him obviously, but you couldn't ever really get the true potential of Glenn Tapia because Kirkland ruined his career.
And he was doing all right in that fight as well. He won the first couple of rounds, but then he gassed horribly.
Yeah. Like that mismatch was just something that I couldn't really fathom at the time. And it's just a little bit too late, honestly. I know after that fight, Glenn made the transition to train over at the Wild Card. But once you're broken down to that level, I don't think it's really possible to recuperate from that.
Tapia's best wing, as far as I can work out, is Abraham Han.
Abi Han, Lim's cousin.
Yeah. That guy's a bum. That guy's a fucking bum.
Well, that's the only guy that he fought who hadn't lost a fight when they fought.
Nah. Yeah.
That's your brother, though, isn't it?
No, definitely not. We disowned him after that fight. We told him to get the fuck out of our house and get a job. That guy would throw a jab. Horrible, that guy would throw a jab and feint when Glenn Tapia was out of range throughout the entire fight. I couldn't believe someone would be that terrible with their judgment of distance and timing. But yeah, Glenn's a decent guy, man. He's a gym warrior. I think more than anything, you watch him train and you watch him spar, and you would probably consider him to be a pretty highly touted prospect. But I think what really derails his career is, again, that Kirkland fight, but also I think his body type. I think he's one of those classic examples where 154 should be the weight class that he should fight at max, and that's why him fighting at 160 makes absolutely no sense. But he's also cursed with that body of a bodybuilder. Like, it's extremely difficult for him to make 154, and it's really tough on those guys who are stocky, who have short arms, and who really can't make the weight that they should fight at. And I've always felt those fighters, it really haunts them during the later stages of their career when they can't cut weight.
He's got a longer reach than Lemieux, and Lemieux, yeah,
interesting.
He's bigger than Lemieux as well by a couple of inches, supposedly. But you can't trust him, can you?
I don't know. I've always thought Glenn was barely taller than Miguel Cotto. I think Glenn is like 5'8", 5'9" max.
They've got him down as 5'11" on BoxRec, but that maybe
no fucking way, man. That's bullshit. Yeah,
he's only
5'9" max.
He's only 26. He's still got plenty of time to turn his career around, but he won't.
Yeah, and Local Mexican he asked me if Tapia should retire. I think after this fight, he's going to be forced to retire because I think he's going to get another beating on the level of on that Kirkland level. So I feel bad for him, man. He made a pretty big commitment in moving out to LA from New Jersey, but this is just terrible matchmaking and just terrible management.
I mean, that's a dangerous. Like, you got to look at considering he got knocked out in 4 rounds in his last fight, and he was a weight division below, and they're going to put him up to whatever anyone says about Lemieux. He's a big puncher. I think everyone can agree on that. It's suicide. Not suicide, but it's career suicide. I think it's going to be another loss.
Cashing out.
Yeah, but who knows, man? Maybe. Let's not forget that Lemieux is kind of a bum too, man. I never really rated.
I agree with you.
I never rated Lemieux that highly, and if Marco Antonio Rubio was able to stop Lemieux, albeit Rubio is much more. He's much more experienced than Tapia. I think if Tapia does catch Lemieux with something early and something profound, I think he has a chance of winning that fight. So, I mean, that's what I certainly hope for.
All right. Anyone else got any thoughts on this fight, or should we just move on to the undercard? All right, let's move on to the undercard. Dan, we've spoken in the past about your boy Frankie Gomez. He's in a tough fight. Weird catch weight, 146, I've been reading.
Yeah, that's boxing for you.
Tough fight for your boy against Herrera.
It's a tough fight, I think. I mean, I think Herrera would be the rightful favorite. But I do think Frankie has a shot in the fight just because he is a pretty high volume type of fighter, and I think the only way that you can beat Herrera is if you outpoint him, because he's tough as fuck, and he's going to throw a lot towards your way as well. But again, from a matchmaking perspective, I don't understand this fight at all. I think if you want to make Frankie look good, you put him in there against someone who's an aggressive, come-forward fighter, because Frankie's actually a pretty decent counterpuncher. I don't know why you would pit him in there against someone like Mauricio Herrera. It's going to be a bore fest, and he's going to put people to sleep. So, again, if you're trying to market Frankie as an up-and-coming Mexican prospect, I don't understand why you would put him in there against Herrera.
Yeah, the thing about Herrera, he can make you look really bad as well. And Frankie's last few fights I've caught of his, he's not looked that great. So
no.
Leon,
I don't know. It's a weird catchweight too, because Frankie should be fighting at 140. So I don't understand why they're letting him get away with fighting at what seems to be welterweight.
You never know; he might miss weight and do some more fuckeries. But Leon, Chu, you guys got any thoughts about this fight?
To be honest, no, I've never really seen much of Frankie. The last couple of fights haven't. Has he had 2 fights cancelled in the last 2 because he didn't make weight? Is it 2 of them now?
No, I think it's just 1.
Just 1. I've just never seen enough of him to really make a decision. But I like Herrera, so I hope it's a good fight.
I don't like Herrera. I think he's good, but I think he's fucking boring as hell.
You know what I like about this card? It's like the wild card against the world. You've got Amir Khan, who of course used to be a wild card fighter, Frankie Gomez, Glenn Tapia, I don't know if he still is, but used to be a wild card fighter. This is just like an execution, I think, for all these wild card fighters. You're just going to see them all getting knocked the fuck... Well, Frankie Gomez isn't going to get knocked the fuck out, but I think...
He's going to get put to sleep in a different way.
Well, just like a needle in his arm, like you're too fat. Put him down.
No, he's going to be so bored by what Herrera's doing, he's going to take a nap.
I think these guys, especially Frankie Gomez, don't deserve a payday like that. I wonder how much they're getting paid. I don't know what Frankie Gomez has done. Like Leon says, I've not seen him. You don't see him fight. He always fucking ends up killing it on the scales or fighting some bum at 2 weight classes above what he was originally meant to fight at. I don't like Frankie Gomez just for the fact that he just seems to be undisciplined, and yet he seems to be getting these shots constantly. Like, they've really put their money behind him. He's like the establishment. He's like the establishment boxer. He's like everyone puts his money on Frankie Gomez. Like, everyone behind the scenes, like, this guy's great, this guy's great, this guy's great. But we never see it. And for that reason, I hope he loses. Because I think there's more deserving fighters worthy of that push that he gets.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and I think that's kind of the logic behind Golden Boy putting him in there against Herrera. They wanted to see exactly what Frankie is made of, and this is definitely a fight that's going to show what level Frankie is at. Because if he looks terrible against Herrera, which is likely, they might cut him entirely from their promotion.
Yeah, sink or swim, because they had a lot of egg on their face when the fight with Humberto Soto happened, and he was like 6.5 pounds overweight. I think that fight was supposed to be at 140, and he weighed in like almost 147. So I think Dan's right. I think they're saying sink or swim now. You've had your chance, so prove to us.
Yeah, Tony Yayo in the chat saying Herrera is the people's champ. I agree. I love Herrera, and in a way, this is like a great matchup. This is like two guys who are like total opposites of the spectrum. You've got the people's champ, Herrera, who always gets underrated, never gets a push, has a better record than his record suggests because he keeps getting robbed, against a guy who, in Frankie Gomez, gets everything handed to him on a plate, and he still pushes the plate away. Not literally, because if a plate of food was there, you would fucking eat it.
You'd be all over it. No, but Chu, why do you like watching Herrera fight?
I like his jab.
Me as someone that you don't.
I like his jab. He's one of the few technical, scientific boxers I enjoy watching. I don't know why. He's an exciting guy with that style. He's one of the few. He just throws a lot of punches. He comes to win. He fights everyone. You know, you look at his record. He's fought a lot of good guys. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. I just like that. He's the kind of guy who would, he would turn up with his steel hat and his work boots and he just goes to work.
I respect the hell out of him. I do, don't get me wrong, but I don't like watching him fight. And I find it kind of surprising that you do, because you shit on guys like Rigo and Ward, and albeit they probably aren't as entertaining as Herrera, but I don't think there's that much of a difference between Ward and Herrera in terms of action.
So you're comparing Herrera's style to Ward and Rigondeaux?
No, not necessarily, but I do think when you watch a Herrera fight, you know what you're going to get. And that's not the classic all-out battle that I know you are very, very interested in watching.
When I think of boxers I want to watch, Herrera is not like one of the first names that comes to mind, but would I watch him? Of course I would. I would also watch Andre Ward. I would never watch Rigondeaux. Never's a strong word. I'd only watch Rigondeaux if it was a really big fight. Andre Ward, the same. The stakes would need to be really fucking high for me to watch an Andre Ward fight. You would need to fight a Kovalev. I'll watch him fight against Barrera because I've got a funny feeling Barrera could beat him. But that's the thing with Rigondeaux and Ward. You're watching those fights to see if someone can beat them. With Herrera, you kind of know he might lose, but you watch him anyway because he's so honest and plucky with it. He's like a fighter of a bygone era. He could fit in like the 70s and the 80s where they would fight every week. There's something out of the Emmanuel Augustus about Herrera, which I enjoy. Underdog, Rocky story, which I enjoy.
Yeah, I think you like him as a person and his story more than his boxing, if that makes sense. Because I do that with some people. Like some people, I really like them as a boxer, but they're quite shit. But because I like them as a person and their backstory, then I kind of support them. I think it's the same case for you.
But who they are as a person reflects in what their style is in the ring.
Not necessarily.
Herrera, not necessarily, but in this case, I definitely think that Herrera is someone who has learned his craft, is diligent in the ring. He's in every fight. When have you ever seen Herrera getting blown away?
I haven't. That's not my point, though. That's kind of the reason why I don't really like watching his fights, because he's not going to knock anyone out, so it's always going to go to a decision. And it's usually a 7-5, 8-4 type of decision when you watch him fight. I don't know. I'm not that big of a fan of his, honestly. And I don't give a fuck about his background or his backstory, to tell you the truth.
All right, let's move on.
I don't like his fights, and I don't like talking about them.
So that's a good segue.
Yeah, I was going to say, get us out of here in a Herrera hole.
The kind of hottest news at the moment.
Exactly.
The hottest news at the moment is this whole...
Wait a minute. Fuck you guys for making me feel bad about liking Herrera. Go fuck yourself.
I
don't like that.
Boring.
What the fuck's wrong with Herrera?
There's nothing wrong with Herrera.
All right, let's move on.
There's something wrong with this conversation.
Yeah, all right.
That's what I think about him.
The biggest news that was announced just before the show went live was Mr. Big Daddy Brown testing positive for a banned substance. Here we go again. What's the conspiracy theories? Was he spiked as he was leaving Russia and some shit, or what's going on here, man?
Toss of a coin. Both are very believable, aren't they? That he's taken the drug or that he's been spiked. I mean, there was another 4 Russian athletes failed tests today, so they've definitely got the supply over there, so that's not an issue.
Well, I was asking Dan earlier about clenbuterol, or clenbuterol, however you pronounce it, and Dan said it's a diuretic. So is that diuretics to increase urine?
Diuretic. I don't know how it works.
I think it's to increase how much urine your body makes, but what does that mean? Was he trying to flush something else that he's been using, or we kind of need Kev on the scene because Kev's the PED expert, but obviously it's not something that's going to help him make weight because obviously this is heavyweight, so I don't know. It's just a shame, man, because his win was...
He was in the best shape of his life. It was a surprise that he looked as good as he did. So I mean, there's a little bit of smoke, isn't there?
Possibly. It's just a shame, man, because I was really happy for him and proud that he might, the way the fight turned out as well. He was losing it and he came from behind. So if he has took something, then it's a shame. And
I mean, there's nothing you can take, is there? That can, because he got up from a couple of very big punches. But is there anything that you can take that aids taking a massive shot in the chin? I don't know how these things work.
Neither do I. My knowledge of PED is very low. But someone made a comment earlier before the show started saying Kid Galahad's brother spike his drink or something.
Exactly. He gets everywhere, this one, doesn't he?
Dan, you got any thoughts?
No, I don't, and I don't really care to discuss what may or might have been the reasoning for his dirty test, but I really don't have any kind of gray line when it comes to dirty testers. So, I mean, I don't know much about Lucas Brown, but if he took clenbuterol, then I think he's a piece of shit.
Well, this is just his A sample. I don't know what the difference is. He's got to pay for his B sample to be done by VADA. So, I mean, I don't know what the big difference is between A and B and why that makes so much of a difference and why you would have something in A that you wouldn't have in B. Don't understand enough of it, but... So it's obviously he's got a chance to prove his innocence. So let's see if he is. But if he isn't, if he is guilty, then fuck him.
Yep. May you get a ban, and then if he does get banned and he comes back, fair enough. You did the crime, you did the time, but
but I agree. But I think there's something about you shouldn't be just allowed to. You shouldn't be allowed to fight for a world title, I think. You should be allowed to box again, but not fight for a world title or something.
So some type of stipulation after you've been banned.
Is one thing, but he's still there's not. You can still after that you can still
make
gain
an earning off
same
boxing, but you
prestige.
can't fight for a title.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does
Something like
titles
that,
mean now anyway, though?
Yeah.
But just to clarify, boxing scene. The reports say Brown's A sample tested positive, but no testing has been done on the B sample because VADA is demanding Brown pay for the second test. What type of shit's that?
Prove you're innocent. Get your money out.
Get your money on the table. Fucking Ricky Hatton's is raiding his safe in his house now, trying to pay for it.
Nah, he'll drop him now, won't he?
But it depends what happens with the B sample, I guess. But it's a shame, man, because I was happy for him. But yeah, Chu, you got any thoughts, or shall we move on?
I think if he's going to take drugs, he should just go all the way and just Ben Johnson it, because he needs that. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised he's been caught. He's probably been at it for a while. And of course, take the title off him. That's my thoughts.
Cool. Thank you, Chu. Alright, next. We mentioned him last week, Chu. And this week his fight was announced. Ricky Burns. Your
Yes.
boy.
Yep, we're all excited. We're all excited. For him.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
You're excited.
A three-time world champion. I hope you are going to enjoy talking about this one, guys.
Come on, Chu, man.
I hope you are going to be fucking excited as fuck for this.
My
He
boy
was
caught.
a four-time world champion, Adrian Broner, at 4 different weight classes.
My boy caught music in the chat, said, lol, the Ricky Burns tumbleweed. Well said, caught. Now, Chu, I'm upset with this fight. Right. DeRocco is ranked second. Yeah.
Mhm.
And Ricky Burns is ranked 14th. And he's getting a shot at the bullshit title. The WBA title. What's that? If he wins this title, to me, he's not a three-weight world champ.
To you, to everyone else, but at the end of the day, he'll have that belt around his waist. I've got a bit of an echo, so I'm going to phone back.
Alright, Chu. Leon, you got any thoughts about Ricky Burns and DeRocco?
I never heard of DeRocco,
Neither have I.
really. So, what does it mean?
Nothing, that's the problem.
So, I mean, I feel bad for Ricky Burns because I think it's a good fight for him. He's got a chance of. I mean, let's be honest. He should win this belt, right? He should beat this guy.
In theory,
So,
yeah, but we all
yeah.
thought he was going to beat Zlatan Cannons, but
Zlatan's a little beast, isn't he? So
He is.
we all got egg on our face on that day. But I just think it's just not It's just not a big enough fight because what they're saying is it's a big fight because there's a belt, not because he's fighting anyone that's any good or a real threat. So yeah, you get a belt, but do we fucking care really? This is what we're paying our Sky money for, so he can fight this European level guy who's had like 40 fights and no cunt's ever heard of him.
well, I'm the same.
I'm
mate.
calling
Yeah,
myself a cunt there, so I am one of them cunts who've never heard of him. But, it's just, he's fought Lenny Dawes. Who else has he fought? I mean, I just don't know anyone on his. I hate to be salty again, but, it's just not. I wanted it to be a better fight. I don't care about the belt.
it just seems to me, because Hearn, obviously he's lost Kevin Mitchell, but he had so many, and he has so many lightweights. It's almost that Burns got pushed up to 140, without his kind of choice, without him being asked.
Get out of the way. You're getting in my way of other fighters. So get up there.
Yeah, that's what I've always felt, and now it's like, oh well, we can get Hearns this WBA title and just start selling out the Glasgow Arena again, and it's just a shame, man. But again, I feel a bit sorry for Ricky because it's not his fault. If you're gonna offer him a fight and there's a possible title on the line and he's gonna get paid well,
Oh yes, yeah.
he's gonna do it. But it's just it's a shit fight, and there shouldn't be a title on the line. But It's WBA, so are they really classed as a title anymore? I don't really class them as a title.
Not really. Have I got an echo now? Yeah.
No, I can't hear any echo.
Okay. Yes, it's not fair. I mean, do you think if, like, say, what's the kid who's on the undercard this weekend? Luke Campbell. If Luke Campbell had kept winning, do you think they might have let Ricky Burns stay down there and been that fight?
Use him as a stepping stone.
Yeah, but because I'd still be happy to see that fight, but we can't see it anymore because what happened to Campbell. But that was still a fight that I always thought we might see.
I thought we might see that. I thought we might have seen Crawler versus Burns. I think we still might see that if Crawler loses to Barroso. The thing is, I don't think Crawler struggles to make 135. Well, maybe they could meet in the middle because once you've gone up, it's really hard to come back down again. So a catch weight like 137, 138 with Crawler, Burns in the future, man, that's still a big fight in the UK.
Yeah, but I would still pick Burns to beat Crawler if I feel like a lightweight. I'd still if I had to make a choice, I'd probably go for Burns.
No, I wouldn't.
Still a 50.
I think Burns has really regressed over the years, man.
But it's still it's close enough fight for us to see it rather than see this fight.
Yep.
No.
No,
You'd rather see that than this.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's just there's no excuse for Hearns not to match his guys up. You know, he does it randomly every now and then, but maybe he did it for someone like Callum Smith because I think he always probably, even though I picked Rocky, you would imagine he would win that fight. But with the Crawler Burn thing, it's just a bit of a tighter fight, and he probably wants Crawler to stay winning.
Yep, exactly. Dan, you got any thoughts, or do you really not give a shit?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Thanks, nice insight.
I love how Dan just keeps it real. And I don't give a shit about Ricky Burns.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care about Ricky Burns, unfortunately.
That's fair enough. I really want to get Chew's opinion, but I think he's resetting his laptop because he's getting an echo. So
we can. What else is on that card then? And,
Tyrone Nurse versus Willie Lemon.
Until Chew gets back.
Tyrone Nurse versus Willie Lemon.
Willie Lemon, who's he fighting?
Tyrone Nurse.
Okay.
The undercard's pretty.
That's a decent enough little fight.
Do you think so? Like, I'm sure Willie Lemon's about 37-year-old. Yeah, he is, man. He's been around for time, Willie Lemon.
Yeah. He's. Didn't he have a couple of biggish fights back in the day? I can't remember.
He fought Khan back in the day, didn't he?
Shit.
Didn't he drop my boy Khan?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think that was the first time Khan got dropped.
Yeah, not in the 6th round. Yeah, he dropped him.
Yeah, but then
he fought Morales. He got knocked out by Morales. He fought Crawler. Yeah, he's had good fights. But Tyrone Nurse is kind of not really got anywhere, has he?
Mr. Demo, night nurse in the chat. That kind of describes it all, to be honest.
Yeah.
Puts you to sleep. All right, while we're waiting for Chew to come back, I'll quickly just go through the prediction league and give the people in the chat a shout. Like I said earlier, not much change in the prediction league. Everyone in the top 10 got -8, so everyone's in the same position as last week. Got Cesar in first position, Mo in 10 in second, TBE Chef in third, joint fourth, Boss Up 03, Luca Nicola Radic, joint fifth, Johnny B and Lamarcus Malvo. Sixth, we have Low Country. 7th, Jack A26. 8th, we have Basileos and Sully Boxing. 9th, we have Nam82. And in 10th, we have Claude Bottom. And for the people in the chat, we got Tony Yayo, Casual Fan, Larry Magoo, Nothing for Something, Joey D14, Pinhead 360, Mr. Dermo, Kevlar, Bill Bones 101, Colm, Raphael 22, Nunez 83, Mongo Sled, Maki Mac TMT, Court Music, Local Mexican, Tico, Jack Captain, The Latinos Radio Show, Basileos, Foot, Mrs. Quig, Diehard Casual Fan, Shams 1000, NK Healthy, and 14 guests. And also, I want to give a shout to Danny Yankee, who is usually in the chat, but he had to work, and obviously there's still that 1 hour time difference for the show being a bit later than usual, but I'll be back to normal next week because our clocks go forward 1 hour this Sunday, so that'll be back.
Is this Sunday?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
You one of those guys that forgets and then you fucks you up on Sunday morning.
Yeah, unless my phone does it automatically, I don't know what's going on.
You get late for some meeting that you had on a Sunday.
No, don't work never work Sundays.
Fair enough, easy life. Still waiting for Chew to come back. So
Can we quickly talk about the fact that they were threatening to put Shannon the Cannon Briggs on that Ricky Burns undercard? That's the rumour, right? That's what's been going around.
Well, today I had some time free. Obviously, I didn't have many fights to watch during the weekend, so I was going through iFilm. I watched this 20-minute James DeGale, 20 minutes James DeGale video, and watched some others. But then I had to stop because this YouTube timeline of iFilm was just basically Shannon Briggs, just with everyone doing everything on random places. It was a bit too much for me, Leon.
Oh, it was horrible.
Let's go, champ.
Yeah, I just don't. Why do we embrace him like this? Why do we care this much that he's over here?
I think the Brits just like characters, and he's a character. And when he's not like, let's go, champ, and he's not shouting, he's quite like good to listen to.
You sure?
I think he is. Like, he was on the Bunsey show, and I thought he was quite entertaining. Like, he was, he was like looking slick, and like he was talking, and he wasn't being like too loud and energetic, and he was calling Deontay Wilder, Beyonce Wilder, and shit. Like, I thought it was quite funny, to be honest.
See, that's the problem. There.
What's the problem?
That's the twist. That's what was going on all over Twitter over the weekend. Oh, I really like him. You know, I hope he fights in this country. It's like, but why? Oh, I really like his I Feel London videos. Fucking casual. Next. I needed boxing this weekend. There was no fights, so I was just picking fights on Twitter, and like the amount of love that he was getting, it's like, why do we want to watch silly little videos, or do we want to see good fights? You know, it's all this number of tweets he was getting from people. It was embarrassing. I don't think we should embrace him like that. Why do we care that much?
I agree about that, but I've always had a soft spot for Briggs, man. So like, it's going to be hard to kind of argue against you.
Yeah, I know all that stuff might be entertaining, but like, it's just like, it felt like another smoke screen for like not getting. You know, people were watching that because there was no fucking fights on this weekend. It's just, why do we? He's not going to be in a good fight. That's my major problem. He's going to come over here, fight some bum, and then he'll get executed by David Haye or Anthony Joshua. And it's just, now you can see it coming from so far off. I don't care.
The thing is, there was like a 30-minute meeting, and I skipped through it, but Eddie Hearn and Briggs, and I don't know who the third person was. It might have been Briggs' father or his manager or someone. Or
Briggs' father? How fucking old was he?
I don't know if it's his father, to be honest.
This guy's 50s, isn't he, nearly?
No, he's not. He's not old, is he? But it might not have been his father. I'm guessing it might have been his manager or someone part of his team. But basically, like, you could see the smile on Eddie's face, because that's the type of person Eddie wants, man. The guy that can build up fights and shit. You could see Eddie just like in his mind rubbing his hands together.
But that's what Shannon Briggs been saying since he come back. Oh, I might not win a fight, but I can sell a fight. Is that really what we like? We know we're getting sold shit, then, don't we? If that's what he's going into the ring with, is that's his kind of. What does he bring to the ring? Oh, he can sell a fight. Then why should we even watch him fight any kind of person of any kind of level? He's fought nothing but bums, literal bums. The actual word, how the word is meant to be used, that's the level of fighter he's been fighting since he's returned. And we're all like going woo woo. We're all so overexcited that the Boxing Voice named an episode of their last episode is UK. About UK boxing being on the rise, and US boxing being on the decline. It's not on the rise. We just got it's fucking smoke and mirrors. It's the Emperor's New Clothes. It's just a man selling fucking snake oil to us. He's not going to be in a good fight. Sorry,
I can't argue with you, Leon.
It's just frustrating, man. Just want a good fight, and we will get some this weekend, hopefully.
Chew, you back?
What's happening?
Leon, you still getting echo from him?
I've been getting echoes to myself. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I think it's probably you then if you keep getting echoes.
I'm on the crazy high speed broadband now.
Maybe you need a new laptop.
I'm all
fiber.
No, don't be silly.
All right, Chew, going back to you, but we might as well finish with the Shannon Briggs stuff. You got any thoughts on the Shannon Briggs? Have you seen any of his crazy iPhone videos?
Oh, Shannon Briggs, I disagree with everything that Leon just said.
Casual.
For the first word to the last. Didn't even hear what he said, I just disagree with it. Shannon Briggs is my fucking hero. See, in a time when we need heroes, Shannon Briggs is that. The guy's got asthma. Steps into there, he can't even breathe. I mean, most people can't even fucking walk in an office if they've got asthma. This guy steps into the ring like a fucking champion. Goes up against one of the two most brutal boxers that's ever lived, Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko. Doesn't matter.
You shit on Klitschko.
Of course I do, but listen.
You can't be that contradictory.
Vitaly Klitschko in his prime was a beast. He was so good at boxing that he thought, fuck this boxing, I'm going to get into politics. In the Ukraine of all countries, where they've got a civil war with Russia. And this guy is brave. But see what you want about Vitaly Klitschko? Vitaly Klitschko is brave. And I tell you what else is brave. Shannon Briggs stepping in the ring with Vitaly Klitschko. Fucking stepped in the ring with Lennox Lewis. He's following Vladimir Klitschko everywhere. Even on the set of fucking his Bird's new movies, he's following Vladimir.
You can't even sell it to yourself, can you?
Nah, fuck that shit. Listen, Shannon Briggs is the man. I think you throw salt too much, Leon. Far too much. And there's a part of boxing which should be respected. That's the showbiz side. I might not respect a boxer for the skills that they have in the ring, but you definitely need guys who are that showman. You know, I like Derek Chisora. Not for his personal life, not for his in-ring ability, but Derek Chisora, he can sell a fight. So can Shannon Briggs. And that's all I've got to say. I mean,
but he wouldn't have to sell a fight if it was a good fight. So that's my problem. You see, if it was a good fight, you wouldn't have to sell it because it would be considered a good fight. Every fight he's stepping into isn't a good fight, so he has to be a good salesman.
Why? Can I ask you a question? Why are you a casual if you want to see him?
I'm
fight?
fucking with you. No.
I want to get to the core of this. I know you're fucking with me. I want to get
to the core of this.
I'm hearing it in the chat room as well. No. Why am I a casual if I want to see this guy fight?
No, but you can never be in that position. They're calling you casual because it's how casual.
Why is anyone a casual?
Oh, we shouldn't talk about this. It just fires of bullshit. So I just think it's just not. He's not going to be in a good enough fight. Forget about all the slurs like casual. It's just not going to be in a good fight, Chew. And I know I throw salt around, and I probably catch myself doing it too much. But with him, I'm right.
If I say you're right, then I totally contradict the last 10 minutes of what I've been saying. I think
don't say I'm right. If you don't believe it, don't say I'm right.
I'm not gonna. What I'm gonna say is there's a place for Shannon Briggs. Just let Shannon Briggs be. Shannon Briggs be.
I'll give you that. If he fought someone of his own level, so it was a 50-50 fight, not a problem. But if he's going to fight Anthony Joshua, I don't want to see it. Fair?
That's fair. There's a place for a Ricky Burns.
Oh, we like
There's a place for a Shannon Briggs. There's a place for a Herrera. You know, I think there's...
people that you know you can see what's coming to you.
What's coming?
That he's going to fight someone that he shouldn't be fighting. He's going to fight. I mean, actually, no. I mean, it's a David Haye fight. I still think he's not going to win that fight. I want him to be in a fight he could possibly win. Then I'll watch it.
There's no difference between what Shannon Briggs is doing and what I do in every job interview I get. See, in every job interview I get, I blag my way in. I lie in my CV. I say, I've worked here, I can do this, I can do that. No, I can't. And they give me the job. Just because I fucking, for 10 minutes, I talked my way into it.
Yeah, but you haven't cut your hand off yet, have you, when you've been cooking? This is, he might be able to blag it, but he's got nothing to back it up with. You've obviously got something to back it up with.
But he's got names on his resume. I know he's old and I know he's shot. But see, if I think, in a way, this is like the problem with this generation. You've got guys like, I hate to talk about this again, guys like Donald Trump, con man. He's going to con his way into the highest office. How did Muhammad Ali get all his big fights towards the end of his career when he's shot to fuck? At the end of the day, people just want to see guys like that in the ring because of the drama they bring outside it. Do I want to see him get killed in the ring? No, I don't. But you don't see the side of Shannon Briggs that he doesn't show you. He's probably got money problems. He's got bills to pay. He's got children to feed. Let him get it. Fucking let him get it, man. I noticed on Twitter you were getting into an argument with Lou DiBella. Maybe it was you, maybe it was Kev.
No, not me, no, it's Kev.
Yeah. And I think Lou DiBella said something like, Jermaine Taylor, he deserved that last payday because he had money problems. I'm paraphrasing what exactly he said, but that's the gist of what I understood. He's probably right. Jermaine,
but he's boxing a charity. Like, is that a really good way to? Wouldn't it be better just to try and raise money for him and let him get in the ring and get his fucking head caved in? This guy can't even get a license in some places in America, in some states in America. It's.
No, listen. I totally see that argument. You're probably right from a moral side of it, but what I'm saying is, Jermaine Taylor's probably went to Lou DiBella and says, "Listen, man, I really, 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 really need a fight. I've got bills to pay. If you don't fucking get me a big fight, I'm going to be bankrupt. I'm going to be on the street. My children, they can't eat. I'm prepared to die in the ring. Can you get me that fight?" And then Lou DiBella's like, in a kind of moral kind of fucking problem. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to fucking say no to this guy when he's desperate? I might kill him, but it's his risk. If he wants to die in the ring, so be it. And no, I hear fucking leave it in the ring in the next round and all that shit. Like, they always criticise the Jermaine Taylor fighting and shit. Like, that's their one reference they always go back to because he's got brain trauma. So, man, if he's got brain trauma and he's stepping into the ring, let him fucking step into the ring. If Shannon Briggs wants to step in the ring, let him step in the ring. Anyway, I've said my piece.
Hey, come on, Chu. I think Jermaine Taylor has CTE. You can't let a guy like that get in the ring. He's unstable.
What else is he going to
do? You certainly don't put him in the ring to further deteriorate his mental state. It's not just a mental state; it's his physiological state. He has CTE, he has brain trauma. I mean, that's absolutely the worst kind of advice that you can give someone like that, is to step in the ring and get further brain damage. And it's actually interesting that we're talking about him, because I think Kelly Pavlik just got indicted on 2 charges of assault. I'm not quite sure what exactly the felonies resulted from, but I think Kelly Pavlik is another guy who has serious brain trauma and has CTE. And it's ironic because he fought, I think, Jermaine Taylor twice, right? And I'm sure they contributed to each other's brain trauma. And it's just really, really unfortunate that these guys have to go through these situations. But at the same time, I don't think you can just make the statement that they're putting themselves at risk. So they know the conditions, and I don't think that's true. I think once you get brain damage and once you get CTE, you can't really fend for yourself. You can't make decisions for yourself, and let other people be fine with it.
I'm of the opinion that Kelly Pavlik would have done all that shit anyway, regardless of brain damage. And Mike Alvarado would have fucking drove a truck into the lake, regardless of the beatings he took in the ring. People are people. There's plenty. Everyone reacts to brain trauma differently, but I definitely think some people are just bad at making decisions, and regardless of brain trauma, and I definitely think that's the case with Jermaine Taylor. Kelly Pavlik.
Yeah, well, it's easy to say that, but it's really impossible to know. But at the same time, I think, I mean, you can make that kind of argument, but I think brain trauma certainly just aggrandizes the situation more so than anything. I don't know. It's really not for me to make that judgment call, but I guess all I'm trying to say, the last thing that I could honestly ever say or come to grips with is to let a fighter get in the ring when I know that he has signs of CTE. I would never do that as a promoter.
I think that's not your decision to make.
Oh, absolutely it is. How is it not? If you're a boxing promoter, you're not going to look out for the safety of your own fighters?
When they've got bills to pay, then I think if your fighter is going to fight regardless, you'll just go to another promoter. You'll just go to another country. You will find a way to fight.
That's fair, but that's the issue then. Exactly. Then those are the other promotions at fault then. If they're all making the right moral decision, then all of the promoters should be denying said fighter that fight.
Well, it's on the board. They should be giving them to him. You know, the board should be taking more responsibility for this old dude, you know?
Yeah, the commissions. The commission should be denying the fights altogether. I mean, this is a... Yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, there's a cut-off point. I don't want to see fighters fighting until they're 60 and fucking... when they can really, really get hurt. You know, like, there's a cut-off point to every boxer's career.
Yeah, but that's arbitrary, though. So what, if you're over 40 but under 45, it's okay?
Arbitrary, you mean subjective, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I agree, but I mean, what is wrong with a guy coming back if that's all they know to get one last payday? You might argue, when does it stop? But if the fight is one that they can win, I don't see the problem with it, you know.
But Briggs won't be in a fight he can win. That's the problem.
He's been winning all the other fights. He's been
but he's fought bums that no one wanted to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
We're being fucking peddled this as a serious fight. You know, that's the money that we spend on Sky, and that's how they might choose to spend it. That's fucking outrageous.
If Roy Jones fights another fan for $100,000, I'm applying for that. I think my southpaw skills can take that.
I'll pick you in that fight.
With my knee strapped up. All right. Anyone? Have we exhausted this topic? Lim, do you give a shit about Shannon Briggs?
No, I don't want to see Shannon Briggs fight. I don't want to see him fight ever again, man.
Thank you. I
don't like watching these circus shows. You know.
Yep.
All right. I'm not a fan of them at all.
Chu, let's go back to you. Get your thoughts on Ricky Burns while you had to reboot your computer. Are you happy with this fight, or are you just happy for Ricky that he's getting another shot, he's getting a bit of money? What's your take on the whole fight and situation?
I'm happy for him. He's got a chance to be a free-weight world champion. I seen in the chat room when I was going to make my point, Nothing for Something said something good in the chat, you know. He said, has he not fought enough times to make him earn your respect? That's what I asked Leon. That's what I asked Daniel.
I do respect him. I don't respect the choice of. I respect him, but I don't respect the choice of his opponent. I'd rather see him in a better fight. That's all I said. I have complete respect for him. Dan fucking hates him. Dan's obviously got a real problem with him.
No, I don't. I don't at all. I just don't think he's a very good fighter. And you guys know how black and white I am with fighters in boxing. I just want to see the best fighters. And if I don't think you're very good, then I don't really give a shit about you. That's all.
I think the disrespect that Ricky Burns gets for the boxing community, just in general, just on Twitter, just all these kind of parodies that Ricky Burns gets, he gets a lot of disrespect out there. I think Ricky is really, he's like Gladiator. He's like Russell Crowe in Gladiator. He will fight anybody. I'm not saying he'll win. Of course I'm not saying he'll.
I think that's wrong. Every podcast I listen to likes him. No one doesn't like him.
Yeah, I disagree. No one really shits on Ricky.
Disagree. We all like him.
I'm not saying that. Oh, maybe they like him as a pair. I'm talking about pound for pound. Like he's going to be a free weight world champion.
Not to me.
All right, okay. He's got a gift in this one. This guy, Michel Rocca, I know nothing about him. He could be another Zlatan Cannon. He could knock Ricky out or hurt him. But the fact of the matter is that Ricky Burns, as you said, Cam, went from 14th, fighting the second best in the WBA rankings, which means fuck all to anyone. But the point is that he is going to be a free weight world champion. How many British fighters can say that?
It's tainted though. Like that attachment would be tainted because obviously when you look back through the history books, you probably won't think about it. But like we know, we live in the moment. We know that that's bullshit, man. It's fucking the regular title. The super champ is Broner. You know, you kind of ducked Broner once before. Like if he beats DeRocco, has a soft touch, and then fights Broner, I'll give him props. But he's not going to fight Broner.
See, if you just look at Ricky Burns' resume, though, like even the guys who's beat him, he's gave good fights to. Zlatan Cannon, world class fighter, split decision.
Terence Crawford.
He took 3 rounds off Terence Crawford. When you look at how other fighters have done against Terence Crawford, that doesn't look too bad in retrospect. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that Terence Crawford annihilated Ricky Burns.
I wouldn't say that Terence Crawford got out of first gear, though.
Oh, you might say that, but whatever. Ricky got to the last bell.
It was a different form of annihilation. I think you can make the case that a first-round knockout is just as bad as a 12-round schooling. And I'm not saying that Ricky Burns got schooled in that fashion, but I don't think the duration of the rounds mean anything.
I disagree. You contradicted yourself there, but I disagree.
I absolutely didn't. How did I contradict myself?
You said that Terence Crawford schooled him, and then you said, "No, he didn't school him. He didn't school him."
Not to that. No, not to the degree, to the point that I made. But all I'm saying is Crawford absolutely schooled Ricky Burns. So all I'm trying to say is that the fact that Ricky Burns went 12 rounds really doesn't mean anything to me, because he got schooled in all of those rounds.
Do you not give him credit for fighting him, giving him a contest? I mean, I watched the majority of that fight. I definitely didn't. I definitely thought Terence Crawford was the better fighter, but I wouldn't say that Terence Crawford was the pound for pound number one best up and coming prospect that everyone's talking about on the basis of that fight. You know, Ricky Burns was landing on him.
Yeah, but you're hurting your point there then, if you're saying that Crawford isn't as good as everyone hyped him up to be. But I don't know. It was one of those fights where, like Cam mentioned, I don't think Crawford ever got out of first gear, and then he went into Ricky Burns' hometown, and he shut him out. So I don't know.
I think this is the fight not to discuss, because it's the only fight I've ever seen Burns really clearly beaten in. I think, you know, he lost that fight to a very good fighter, but, you know, his resume does stand up. He has had good fights and won good fights.
Yeah, but we don't know if he clearly lost to Zlatan Cannon, because no one's got footage of those extra minutes.
That's true. He got dropped hard in that fight.
And he did lose the belt. He did lose the Beltran fight as well.
Exactly.
But he did break his jaw, so fair enough.
Yeah, but I suppose my point would be, if Ricky Burns wins this title, there's going to be guys like Dan who don't think he's a good fighter, even though he's a free weight world champion. Which maybe, here, listen, I'm not disagreeing with Dan or agreeing. I'm just saying that maybe it just speaks to the boxing, the way boxing is at the moment, that a not very good fighter can become a free weight world champion.
That's true.
I made that point earlier. Fucking Adrian fucking Broner is a 4-weight world champion.
Exactly.
How many of those titles are legitimate? One? Maybe one of the 4? I don't know.
So why do you think that Ricky Burns is getting this title shot?
Honestly, true. You're asking the wrong person. I don't know. I'd like to get your opinion on it. Why is he getting the title shot? Is it
I don't even know.
marketability?
He doesn't sell at arenas.
He's getting it because Hearn's paying for it, and that division's weak, so they might as well give it to Burns because he'll sell more than the next man.
Because Burns has
He'll
still
sell-
got fans in Glasgow.
He'll sell 10,000 in Glasgow, won't he?
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe 8.
For the right fight, maybe, but I've never seen him.
Not
He's
this
not
fight.
got a Carl Frampton fan base.
Who else has Hearn got at 140? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. That you
Maybe
could try.
some kind of, he's got those Hibberts and all those kind of guys, but no one of any real quality.
Maybe he'll just wait for one of his 130 guys to go up and then have a super, British fight. Because I think if Burns does win that belt, they just keep it hostage. Not because of Burns, just because more of Eddie. That's what he does. He sells the belt to the casuals. We got Ricky Burns. He's a 3-weight world champion. He'll fight nobodies, and then one of his 135ers will step up and big super fight, pay-per-view, £20, silly money on tickets, and there's another one that we just get fucking robbed.
Man, that's depressing.
It sure is.
And that would be a perfect segue to Kell Brook. Right?
That would indeed, Dan.
No. He'll fight Gavin.
Frankie Funtime Gavin.
Yeah.
He can't make 140 after he comes back after his ban or whatever he's in trouble for.
Oh, I forgot he's banned, isn't he?
He'll make like 160. Funtime Frankie. Yes, Dan.
No one else.
Kell Brook, then let's move on. Preview next week. What's your thoughts on this fight? Have you seen much of Bizier, Dan?
Yeah, I actually saw one of his fights. I saw him fight his last fight against some dude named Frederick Lawson.
Lawson, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he's average at best. I mean, I really don't know what to say about him. I think he's just some run-of-the-mill type of fighter at 147, and this is Kell's third fight, right, after he won that title.
Yep.
So it's pretty dire, if you ask me, that, what was considered one of the top prospects at 47 is fighting a guy like Bizier for his third title defense. It's a joke. There's really nothing else to say. That's it.
Yeah. It's a shame because, I used to listen to the Boxing Voice back when Brook beat Porter, and like so many Americans got high on Brook. They were like, "Oh, this guy's really good. Like, we can see him taking over the division after Mayweather and Pacquiao leave, etc., etc." And it's just all that effort and all that work he put in, it just totally dissipated. And it's just he's kind of a joke of the 147s now, especially with like Khan chasing Mayweather and Pacquiao, then him chasing Khan. It's just almost like a Benny Hill sketch. For all my UK comedy guys, you'll understand that joke. See that? Leon laughed because he understood it.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember.
Yeah,
that
you're old
shit.
like me.
I'm not old enough.
Yeah, you are. But yeah, let me talk about the Lawson fight. I actually watched that today. I didn't watch it first time round, and I actually think maybe Bizier is left-handed. He's a left-handed orthodox because he uses that left hand so much. He doubles up with it, triples up with it sometimes. Body, head, body, uppercuts, hooks, and then uppercuts, then hooks. Just uses it a lot. And the problem is, if he throws multiple left hooks against Brook, man, Brook's just going to time him with the right hand straight down the pipe. His work rate was good against Lawson, though. He kept, his output was good all the way until the 11th round, until Lawson quit on the stool due to, I think it was a broken jaw. And I just don't know. He didn't really use the jab against Lawson. I've seen the Jojo Dam fights, but like with one eye on the fight and probably one eye on my phone because they weren't really interesting fights. So I'm not sure if he uses his jab more in other fights, but against Lawson he didn't. He was just trying to walk in on the inside and hands up high, trying to slip a few shots and then throw his own shots. So I think he might be competitive for maybe 3-4 rounds, but I think once Brook kind of times him and catches him, I think it's going to be night-night.
You know what's amazing about Kevin Bizier is that his last fight against Frederick Lawson was his first fight outside of Canada.
Yep. That says a lot.
All 26 of his previous fights were in Montreal, in Quebec. That's pretty disconcerting.
Yep. Leon, Chu, any thoughts?
I sat through both. I couldn't go back and watch that Lawson fight. I'm not going to do it. I watched the two fights against Jojo Dan, and they were. Well, you're not going to go back and watch them again. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
And he lost both of them on a split decision, and Brook beat the shit out of Jojo Dan, didn't he? Jojo Dan was never in that fight at any moment, any second in that fight. So this fight will go exactly the same. He has no power as far as I can remember from those two fights. And so Brook will just be able to walk through him. And it will end early.
Do you think Dan being a southpaw, though, obviously Bizier is orthodox, it's not going to make a difference?
Nothing. No.
Fair enough. Can't argue with you. I think it'll last a bit more. I think it probably goes 5 or 6. But Chu, you got any thoughts?
Yeah. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, when you look at Kevin Bizier's box rec, he's got some interesting names on there. He's got, obviously, Jojo Dan twice. El Mazadi, who, I've heard of before. Frederick Lawson, who I've never really heard of before. Nate Campbell. He's got Nate Campbell on there. He's got a guy called Ronnie Warrior Jr. Guy's literally a warrior. Unfortunately, his record doesn't show it. But yeah, fucking looking at the fights I've seen him fight and his box rec and his reputation, it's a set-up fight for Kell Brook. And Kell Brook's 29. He's getting on a bit. He can barely make welterweight. So to me, I just feel this is really bad management, bad promotion. I think his career's getting guided down the wrong path. Every week he's just stalking Can. It's actually got past the Bonnie Boiler stage. It's got past the fucking newspaper clippings on the wall. And then it's personal. Now he's talking about his fucking Can's postcode and shit. He's always talking about Bolton. He's always talking about fucking something personal, like his hometown and shit. It's actually getting a bit scary now. And it's so sad that like a top world class fighter has to rely on another fighter so much. It's like you've got to make your own fucking path. Your path shouldn't be based on another fighter. You've got to make your own thing, and then when you make your own thing, that other fighter will come to you. But unfortunately, Kell Brook's not done that throughout his career. He's just been relying on Amir Khan so much. You can understand Amir Khan chasing Floyd, the pound for pound number 1. I can understand that. I can understand Khan chasing Pacquiao, the pound for pound number 2. I can't understand Kell Brook chasing Amir Khan relentlessly so much that it's actually become a bit of a joke. So really, Kell Brook's got to, I don't know what he's got to do, to be honest. I think he should just move up or fight Errol Spence or somebody. Just forget about Khan. It's never going to happen. Khan's never going to fight you.
Brook has said after this fight.
I think you got to kind of speak to Brook's defense at the same time. Well, first, let me just mention, it's kind of amazing how the tables have turned after Khan decided to fight Canelo. But before that, I think Brook was justified in chasing Khan so much because that fight made so much sense. There really wasn't another matchup that you can talk about that should have happened more than that fight. So I felt like Kell Brook's, all of his antics and his histrionics were justified because that fight should have happened. And to me, at least, I don't know what you guys think, but I kind of felt that Khan was acting a little bit more like the diva, and that's why that fight didn't take place.
He had every right to chase that fight, but now Khan's doing what he's doing. He has no need to talk about him at the moment. He needs to concentrate on his own career and getting a good fight, because this is a terrible fight. and it's a mandatory. But he's had 2 mandatories, and he fought Gavin. And this guy was talking about being an actual player on the world level, and he might have a world belt, but he is not playing on the world level at the moment. We always get accused of, and I often get upset because Americans say, he's a domestic fighter. But at the moment, he feels like a domestic fighter. He needs a big fight. He went over there and he took the belt from Porter. And after this fight, if he doesn't fight someone decent, then what are we meant to think? He should fight.
Yeah, but
he should fight Spence. Fight the man.
At the same
take
time,
the fight next.
It's kind of crazy to say, but he has the best name out of anyone's resume at welterweight outside of Bradley and Pacquiao.
Yeah, but what's he done with that name?
No, I understand, but I'm just saying that I still think Kell Brook I think Kell Brook is still a top 5 welterweight. Actually, I'm not quite sure if I believe that, but I think you can make the case that he's still a top 5 welterweight.
I think he is, but it's poorly done. They've done a bad job with him.
No, they have, but he still has a lot of leverage, which is pretty crazy to think about. But I still do think that he still pulls a pretty heavy draw when it comes to the negotiation tables at welterweight. Say for example, if they are serious about having Kell Brook fight, what's his face? Who's Errol Spence? Don't you think that Errol Spence would have to come to the UK to make that fight happen?
Yep.
Possibly, but they said they'll travel now.
I think they'd only travel for big names like Danny Garcia or Tim Bradley, and I don't think they would travel for Spence.
No, but he should take that. He should go. You know what? Fight the mandatory. If I can't get these big fights with Garcia and these people out in the States, he should make Spence come to him and just say, "I'll give you my next voluntary," rather than wait for the mandatory, and try and get him while he's still young. While he's still not green to a certain level. I think Brook's a favourite in that fight. I think Brook beats a lot of these guys at welterweight. I like his skill set. I think a lot of us do, don't we? I think he's a good fighter for this division.
Yeah, I think Brook Spence is a close fight. Only reason being is just because of Brook's recent opponents. I think.
Yeah, but what's Spence's recent opponent? Apart from he's fighting Avocado now, but what's he done before that? Nothing really.
That's true. But
well, that's the thing, though. He's a prospect, so we can't make any judgment on him at all because we don't really know anything about him.
If Errol Spence goes in and destroys Algieri, which I think he will, then he goes from being a prospect to being
contender,
a really dangerous contender. Yeah, so I think that would be the right time to fight him, and he would get a lot of credit for beating Errol Spence.
Yeah, true. Like if Spence does a job on Algieri and then Brook did a job on Spence, I'd give him a lot of respect.
For Amir Khan to fight Brook now, it would be such a complete change of behaviour. It would be like phoning the phone number of that stalker who left it on the table for you at the coffee shop. It's just going to be a complete switch up.
That's an awkward
I
conversation.
can never see that fight happening.
Never.
So Kell Brook needs to move on.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Chu. Yeah, you got a prediction for the Bizier Brook fight? Easy work.
Is that next week?
Yeah, it's this Saturday.
Fuck no. Kell Brook 4 round knockout.
Picking 4, right? Trying to get the 60 points in the prediction league.
Yep. Go for it.
All right, undercard Campbell versus Sykes. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really seeing much of Gary Sykes, so if you guys want to discuss it, do it. If not, we'll move on.
No, I haven't seen much of him, but it seems like he's obviously a reasonable fighter, so he hasn't dropped all the way back down, has he, Campbell? So that's good to see. But, I expect he'll win.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Same time in London on Channel 5, a terrestrial TV channel which is free to most people. We have Nick Blackwell versus Chris Eubank Jr. I'm looking forward to this fight, man. This is Sky viewing figures are going to suffer, I think, because of this fight.
Oh, for sure. It's a much better. It's a much closer fight. So, yeah, you really would hope that it has much better viewing figures. It deserves better viewing figures.
Yep. What's your thoughts on the fight, Leon?
Well, you know I'm Team Eubank, so I'm gonna pick him, but it's a tough fight because Blackwell is, he's brave, he's strong, he's got a good chin on him, and he'll come to fight. But and we're still questioning a bit this supposed Eubank power, right? Because he seems to be a hurtful puncher without being a concussive puncher. Would I think that's a fair description?
Yeah, that's fair.
And he could, I think it'll be a war, because they'll both trade. They both definitely will trade.
Yeah. Go on, you.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be a really close fight. I think, last week I was kind of swaying towards Blackwell for some reason. I think his style's all wrong for Eubank. He throws high volume punches. He likes to get inside. I think with a guy like that, you need to utilise a jab to keep him at bay. I don't think Chris Eubank really uses his jab. I think he has got a good jab when he uses it, but he doesn't like to use it. He likes to showboat a lot, and I think every time that Chris Eubank showboats, Blackwell's going to be right there with him, throwing punches and shit. Really, this is going to be a case of, has Chris Eubank Jr. learned the lessons of previous fights where he doesn't do much for the first couple of rounds and then he kind of steadily picks up. I think you're running the risk of a guy like Blackwell running up a lead on the scorecards before you really step out of second gear. And I think that's going to be the way the fight kind of plays out. I think Blackwell will win the first half of the fight. Eubank will win the second half of the fight, and I think Eubank might drop him, hurt him towards the end of the fight. I'm picking Eubank, but it's not a safe pick by any means. I'm surprised they went down this route. People might think it's a step going back. I don't. I think it's a step going forward, but it's like a step going forward with less light shown on you. It's like less prestige. It's like you went down the fucking glitz and glamour road to this dirt and dingy road, which
where was
bears and coyotes.
Where was he meant to go? I know people said he was in line for Jacobs. He's doing the right thing. He's fighting for the British belt, and Eddie Hearn fucked him around and didn't win it, so he sort of fucked him off and went after the belt. I mean, I know I'm always accused of being, I'm pro Eubanks, but I still think it's a good fight. It's the right fight for him. I think he's doing the right thing, personally. It's a bit old school.
It's a bit old school. Maybe when his career's over, he can look back and think, I've got the Lonsdale belt, I've got the British belt. Great, That's good for him. Like, I definitely feel as if it's Chris Eubank Sr. whispering in his ear, living vicariously through Chris Eubank Jr. He never won the British belt. So he's telling Chris Eubank Jr., okay, we need to get this belt. But the guy you're facing is actually a fucking really good fighter, really underrated, improving all the time. When you look at boxing scene, apparently he's been sparring with George Groves and shit. Blackwell's one of these guys, apparently, that just puts the hands on everyone in sparring. He's got one of these reputations. A bit like Golovkin, dare I say it. Obviously without the knockouts. I don't know. I think this is a bad styles matchup for Chris Eubank Jr. I don't know why you pick such a dangerous fight.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, I suppose in terms of like competition for the fan and shit. Yeah, you're right. You're calling me out on my bullshit. You're right. I'm talking bullshit.
No, it's not bullshit. But I just think he's doing the right thing, and we can't. I'd rather he took. I don't know. At least he's fighting a guy that is, he's got the belt and he's going after the belt. The guy is a good fighter. Why kind of fight a nobody and then try and get Danny Jacobs? I'd rather, if he beats Blackwell, you could say, okay, this is, moving in the right direction to fight Danny Jacobs. If he fights a nobody, we'll learn nothing.
the thing is, like, in the middleweight division, there's no real kind of B-level fighters. There's this drop-off between the 5 and 6 guys who will give you a good fight. And then there's like, there's like snakes and ladders. It's like, you've got all these guys at the top and then all these guys at the bottom. I think Blackwell is like one of these guys that is just under the radar. He is one of the few guys who can test you at that gatekeeper. He's like a solid gatekeeper, Blackwell. Like if Blackwell wins, he'll be talked about as being a world champion potentially. It's that kind of fight. You know, whoever wins will go on to bigger and better things.
I like Blackwell a lot. He's only 25, but if you look at his resume, he's been in some tough fights and very early on as well. Like, I think his 9th fight was Martin Murray. Tough fight. He fought Saunders on his 14th fight. He fought Bursak. Obviously, these are guys that y'all lost to. He's fought Komitsky. He knocked out Ryder. And he's only 25. I was watching a bit of Blackwell. I've seen him before, but I was kind of studying him a bit more today. And stance-wise, him and Eubank have got a very similar stance, like almost mirror images. They both have like the left hand low, right hand up to the chin, and they both snap out the jab quite well, and similar footwork as well. So I think depends Chris Eubank Jr.'s frame of mind. If he comes out, start messing about and trying to throw uppercuts from half away from the ring, which he did against Spike, he's going to have issues, but I don't think he'll do that. I think this fight will be quite technical, quite tactical. The only issue I really have with Blackwell is when he does get on the inside, sometimes stance-wise, the only difference is Blackwell will use the high guard and put the earmuffs on, as Terry Atlas would say, and Eubank's more on his reflexes and head movement and upper body movement. That's only really where they differ, so I'm thinking on the inside, one of Blackwell's issues is, and he was getting caught as well in the fight I was watching against Bursak, was with the uppercut, and we know
he does an uppercut.
Yeah, and he does lean over, and you know Eubank loves the uppercut, so that's where I think the fight could be won for Eubank. But I think it'll be a close technical fight, and I hope Eubank doesn't start off slow, because if he does and gives a few rounds away to Blackwell, it's going to be hard going if he doesn't, you know, manage to catch him with the uppercut.
The thing is about that is that Blackwell's going to force him to fight. He's not going to box off the back foot and try and win the round, is he? He's not going to do like Billy Joe. He's going to be try and outwork him with volume, so that will force Eubank to fight. I
think Eubank will be on the back foot in the majority of that fight.
Yeah, exactly. So I think actually it could work for Eubank because he's going to be coming to him.
Yeah, try and catch him while he's trying to throw.
I think this is the kind of fight Eubank would rather fight than the Billy Joe kind of guy.
Yeah, because then he can set traps for him, can't he? Because he's on the back foot.
He'll you know, exactly. He can time him coming in. Yeah. And like you said, those kind of uppercuts and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's a good fight though.
Done.
Hey, is Blackwell? Are they closer to the House Targaryen or House Starks?
House Starks.
Okay, so they're tough, rugged people, huh?
I think they're from beyond the wall.
Oh shit! So this is going to be a great matchup.
Yep. It's really the Blackwells have got a lot of prestige in Westeros.
Okay.
We should start a Game of Thrones podcast. Dan, you got any thoughts about Blackwell and Eubank Jr.?
No, unfortunately, I don't, Camp. I don't know much about Blackwell, and Chris Eubank is just a fighter that always frustrates the hell out of me. So I'm not a big fan of his yet until he proves something.
Fair enough. Let's move on to Son of God, Andre Ward then. Another interesting matchup on Saturday against Sullivan Barrera. You got any thoughts?
I'm excited.
You were saying you might go if is it quite local to you or?
Yeah, I mean it's like a 6-hour drive.
That's not local.
And no, but I would go just because I love going to San Francisco. I can make a weekend out of it. And I saw like ringside tickets for $250.
That's cheap.
So I might have to get on that. And honestly, I'm not trolling at all. I have kind of a love and hate relationship with Andre Ward, but I do love watching him fight, just studying him and just watching him, box and obviously with his footwork. I think he has the best footwork in boxing right now. Now that Floyd's gone, he's always in position, and he just knows the right time to take a half step back or a half step forward, man. And I just think he's fantastic. And Sullivan Barrera is a legitimate opponent, and if he stops Sullivan Barrera somehow, because I know Ward has been talking about stopping Barrera, I think you got to put him back there with the top of pound elite, because I think Ward is by far the best fighter right now in boxing. Well, actually, it's close. I think it's like a three-headed race right now, but I think skill-wise, there's no one who really compares to Ward.
Chu, your thoughts?
Andre Ward is the best boxer in the game, but he's not the most entertaining fighter. That said, I think Barrera is a good challenge for him, catching him at the right time. He's stronger, bigger, punches harder. He's technically nice. This is probably Andre Ward's toughest fight since the Super 6 tournament. And it'll be interesting to see what Andre Ward has got at this weight class. Because I know he's had one fight before at this weight class, but that was against Paul Smith, which doesn't really prove anything.
Yeah, that was catch weight as well.
That was catch weight. So to go from that to your first fight at 175 against a dangerous opponent, see what you want about Ward, he's got balls.
Yeah, but at first didn't he want to fight like a bum, and then they said no?
You're right, he did. You're right, and it's good that someone called him out on that, but he still didn't need to take this fight. He did. You might have had to push him to it, but he took the fight. I'm good in terms of the way the fight goes. Man, I'm picking Barrera.
You picking Barrera?
Fuck it.
Why?
I don't even have a reason why. It's just a funny feeling. This funny feeling, I don't even have an explanation why. I just think Andre Ward's going to get tagged. Paul Smith. Like I said last week, Paul Smith, he didn't land many punches. I think he landed like 6 throughout the fight, but they landed flush. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, the thing is, Ward's fight against Sakio Bika taught me a lot about just how tough Ward is and how well he recovers after taking huge shots. And I don't think that's going to be an issue against Sullivan Barrera. And I know this may sound a little crazy, and you guys can shit on me all you want for this, but I think Edwin Rodriguez is probably just as big as Sullivan Barrera. And when he fought Rodriguez, Ward was just out-bullying him on the inside of that fight. And I think that's one of Ward's most underrated aspects to his game, is just how tough and how physically dominant he is on the inside. So I think against Sullivan Barrera, who likes to use a lot of range and distance, I think Ward's going to just tighten that up and just out-bully him and outwork him on the inside. Yeah, I think Barrera's too basic, man.
Barrera's not as big as what's his name? The
Rodriguez?
Guy who said no.
I just think he's too basic now.
Right, Rodriguez is pretty poor though. I think Barrera is better than Rodriguez.
I know, but at the same time, I don't think that's kind of style.
I think it'd be interesting to see if he can bully him around. That's what we're about to find out, because he's a bigger guy. So let's see if Ward still can, because he does like to bully people around. So it'd be interesting to see. But
the thing is, Barrera doesn't really use his size to his advantage that much.
Yeah, but
he's just a traditional fighter. Yeah, I mean, he might, but there's no reason for you to say something like that, right? Because we haven't seen it yet.
Well, you're saying if he's going to go in, if you're going to say Ward is going to bully him around in the middle of, will bully him around, will have to react. So if he doesn't react, then what's the point?
Yeah, and I'm saying that in that situation, I'd feel more comfortable picking the guy who has traditionally fought that way compared to a guy who I haven't seen fight in that manner.
But that kind of evens up because he's a bigger guy, so let's see.
Yeah, I have to confess, I never saw Sullivan Barrera until Saturday, where I did a bit of research on him. And I was quite impressed. It was against Carlo Marat, so it's, you can't get too overhyped. But, he's got an excellent jab, man. Snaps it out, brings it back to his chin. And he counters his opponent's jab really well as well. He slips to the right or left, and he works the body well. Like against Marat, he was slipping the jab, left hook to the body, or he was slipping the jab to the right hand to the body. So, I don't know. I think it'll be a competitive fight. There's a lot of question marks, Ward's first fight at, 175 against, a guy that's been at 175 for a while. Barrera's even fought at cruiserweight before. So, it's a big fight. Barrera as well, he's not really been tested yet. I know he was calling out Shawnee as well at one point. And he's got a mouth on him.
I think this is going to be a really close fight.
Yeah, I think it is as well,
a really close fight.
I'm picking Ward, but I think we'll see a lot of issues that Ward's going to have at this weight. I disagree with Dan. I don't think he's going to be able to bully people at this weight. I think people are going to be able to push him around a bit more.
I don't know. Fight, I think Ward would be okay with that, just because I think he's just so used to fighting in that kind of style, and a lot of these top guys at 175 don't really use that style of fighting. So I'm watching the Barrera fight right now, and I think he's too fundamentally basic to give Ward problems. And I think the type of fighters who give Ward problems are the really unorthodox fighters like Sakio Bika, who you don't know how to time and who you don't know how to counterpunch. And I think I'm watching the Marat fight right now, and the problem Marat always had was he would always let Barrera shoot from range, from his comfortable distance. And we all know that Ward is the best fighter at really closing that distance and making your punches fall short.
Can I just say something, right? It's really annoying me. Like, see, for 2 years when Ward was out of the game, everyone was shitting on him. Like, for his in-ring ability and everything. Like, one fight back, and now everybody's like, Andre Ward, he's the best. He's so good.
No, I don't think that. I think people are happy now that he's left 168, because I think most people's issue with Ward was him being at 168 and being the best there and not having competition. I think his inactivity and the fact he's moved up has changed people's opinion a bit, and they're just hoping that the fight's a bit more competitive.
The thing that annoys me about Ward is that, as good as he is, his best win's still Cal Froch. Now, Cal Froch is a good fighter. He's not a great fighter, in my opinion.
Cal Froch is House Stark. He's House Stark, man. How can you say that?
Because I'm House Tarragon.
Oh. Dawson would have been his best win if he'd fought him at a catchweight or gone up.
Yeah,
because he dragged him down. That is completely null and void.
Yeah, but at the same time, he didn't drag him down, though.
I'm not going to get
a fucking moron. No. Okay,
I'm not going to get. Don't talk bullshit, man.
I'm not talking any bullshit. Dawson was the guy who said after his fight, post-fight, said, "I'll go down to your weight."
Yeah, that's fine. But all I'm saying is that it makes the fight null and void because he dragged a man down, or the guy went down, whatever. By him going down there, it was a nonsense fight.
Then just correct the phrasing, because he didn't drag him down himself. That dumbass made that decision himself. So I get your point, but he didn't drag anyone down in that fight.
All right, Team Ward.
I'm just saying that was the dumbest fucking decision by Chad Dawson to completely give up your negotiating power. And I agree with you.
But let's be honest. Ward would never have gone up or gone to a catchweight. So if he hadn't gone down, the fight wouldn't have happened. So let's not use semantics. We can't
say that. That's impossible to say.
That.
How can you say
that?
Based on what?
Based on we know what he's like.
Okay, which is code for we don't know anything at all.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you say that when he's moving up to 175 right now to fight Barrera? I know
if he was what he said he was, he would have gone up and taken his belt off him. If he's this great champion, and had gone up there and taken his belt, but he's been forced up. He's been forced up here, man. He's been forced up here.
Forced up, please.
Dan,
he wasn't forced up by anything. If he wanted to, he would have kept fighting at 168.
Yeah, exactly.
If he wanted to.
No, because
he wasn't forced.
He was forced up here because they weren't going to put him on the fucking TV. That's why he's been forced up here. Let's be honest, Dan.
Yeah, I agree with Liam.
He's been forced up here. He doesn't want to go up there, but he's been forced up there. That's what I personally think.
I have a problem saying that, though. He was like as if he had no hand in the situation at all, and he was forced by his. I mean, we were just talking about it a while ago. He would just be fighting bums at 168. That's a whole issue with boxing these past couple of years, isn't it? All we see is fucking mismatches. I'm sure Rock Nation would have paid him a decent amount of money to fight some fucking bum at 168 for the rest of his career. I think that would have been it. I think he had some kind of say in moving up to 175.
Yeah,
I think HBO forced his hand.
I don't think so. I think Andre Ward's a man. You know, he was calling out Triple G for a couple years.
No, don't do this.
No. I'm not going to go down the Triple G path. I just want to segue back to what I was saying about Kell Brook. You know, Kell Brook calling out Amir Khan. Amir Khan's not going to fight you. Triple G is not going to fight Andre Ward. So Andre Ward done the right thing. Moved on. Moved up. Bigger and better fights. I respect him for that. But Dan is giving him credit. Dan is giving him credit for a fight that's not even happened yet. So was I earlier, actually. And I
Which one?
Giving him credit for the Barrera fight before it's actually happened.
No, I said credit for moving up.
I think you can only give a fighter credit if they move up and win. I was giving Ward credit actually earlier. I'm wrong. I'll give Ward credit if he actually wins. If he wins against Barrera, then I'll give him credit. But in the meantime,
all I was saying was
honest,
that
I think Andre Ward's overrated. I think he's overrated, to be honest.
His wins are overrated. I don't know. He's overrated. He's very good.
It's hard to say because when he fought Carl Froch, he was an underdog in that fight, right?
No way.
No,
well, I know when he fought Kessler. Okay, the Kessler fight, he was an underdog.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I just think he's one of those fighters who never had the push or the initial hype coming out of the gate. So he kind of took us by surprise. And I kind of agree with you in that he's a little overrated. And because nobody saw his success coming, they had to retroactively give him more credit than what he probably deserved. But I just had issue with Leon saying that he wouldn't have moved up at all for Dawson. I don't know how you could say with certainty either way what he would have done at that situation. But that's neither here nor there. I'm glad that you guys are giving him a lot of credit for moving up to fight Barrera, because I think this is a fight that Ward is actually going to win pretty handedly. So
I'm not giving him any credit.
That's good to see. Well, maybe you're not, but I know True is. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that he's going to fight. You're not going to give him credit if he beats Barrera handedly?
Oh, if he beats Barrera handedly, that's a good win. But the real credit comes in fighting Kovalev. And then he can walk around like he walks around now. So if he wins that fight, he's pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world, even though I don't believe in pound-for-pound lists. That's fine. We'll see. We'll see if he even fights him.
I think he has to.
Well, good.
It makes no sense. I mean, he's probably HBO's not most recognizable fighter. Actually, you know what? In the States, you can probably say that he's HBO's most recognizable fighter because he speaks English. You always see him on mainstream broadcasts, and he's very visible. He obviously likes to talk a lot, so I don't know how long you can avoid that fight if he's fighting at 175 coming this Saturday.
Is he really that visible? I don't think he ever leaves. Does he never leave California?
He's not, but relatively speaking, I think he's a little bit more popular than Golovkin, just because, again, he speaks English and he's always on programs like SportsCenter, ESPN, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know. It's a tough call. I think Golovkin probably does better at TV
If that's
ratings.
the truth,
I think,
HBO are fucked.
I think more people know Andre Ward. So
But Canelo's HBO fighter, so that's
I apologize. Excluding Canelo. Yeah.
so that doesn't mean so he's come second. HBO are in trouble then if he's the most recognisable, second most recognisable.
All right,
He's hardly a star.
let's move on and wrap up the show. Just quickly, we didn't mention a fight that got kind of semi-announced during the week. Leon, Mr. Hearn has
thrown him to the wolves.
that's a tough fight for Tony Bellew, man. Makubu.
It's a tough fight, man.
Do you think he just wants a stadium fight more than a world title? Because he sounds like, after being in Creed and green screen in Goodison Park and having a stadium fight at his beloved football stadium.
Are they actually doing this at Goodison Park?
Well, he's talking about that, and I don't know. I could see it happening at Goodison Park.
They will have to pump those casuals up hard to sell that stadium, man.
I don't. They do it well, They do it well.
They do it well, man.
Look how they did the Cleverly rematch. That got pumped up pay-per-view.
Yeah, but they didn't try and sell. How many would it be there? 30,000 tickets.
Yeah, they might just reduce it.
A lot of tickets, man.
That is a lot, actually. Yeah, maybe they won't. Maybe they just fucking shit and then just fill up the Echo.
If Brooks' supposed ticket numbers are anything to go by, the casuals aren't coming out for him, are they? So, but he can sell a fight, can't he? Old Tony.
Yep.
They get Briggs like on
Mr.
the
Shannon.
undercard.
Yeah, Mr. Shannon Briggs put him on undercard.
Oh, the casuals wet dream.
Let's go, champ. But yeah, I actually just about found that, the Makubu Matunu fight. Well, not the fight, but just the uppercut that he caught him with. There's a Daily Motion video of someone filming their TV with their phone and uploading it. It's not the greatest quality, but yeah, I've finally seen the uppercut, man, and it was lethal. And
it's brutal, man.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight Droz in I think November or December, and Droz was injured. Supposed to fight him again in April, and now he's injured again. So I think WBC have made Droz champion in recess. So Makubu and Bellew are going to fight for the title. Props to her, man, getting Bellew in the title shot again, but it's a tough fight. Props to Bellew for taking it, to be honest, if it does happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a good fight for him to take, especially for us who are more leaning towards the Bellew loss side of things. I think it's a tough fight.
Yep. Dan, shoot. Go and shoot.
Eddie Hearn gets his fighters world title shots, but when they get the world title, he doesn't know what to do.
It's because he doesn't prepare him. They fight bums and then fight a world champion. It's like there's no in between.
Well, let's be honest. If Bellew does win this belt, he'll have one other fight and then probably retire because they're not going to send him out to fight any of those Russians, are they?
Nope. He'll have a payday and then that's it.
Yeah, and then that's it.
I definitely think the hunger that Tony Bellew showed earlier in his career, he doesn't seem to have that in him so much nowadays. So I definitely think he's got one eye on retirement.
Good point.
Just the venom that he used to speak and the way he carried himself. I don't know what's happened to him. He's maybe become a bit civilised, but I hope he wins because I've always wanted the British fighters to win world titles, but he's got his hands full on this one.
You guys don't see a showdown against Bivol somewhere down the road?
No, Bivol is
175.
Tony can't get down to Bivol's weight anymore.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to do with Bivol.
So this fight is taking place cruiserweight.
He doesn't want the Bivol problems.
Exactly.
Okay.
No one wants to.
I'm getting chills just hearing that name. Echo through my headphones.
Thinking about the calves.
I need to take a warm bath.
All right, let's wrap it up, boys. Leon, sorry, go on.
We've got, for my final thoughts then, can we talk about Billy Joe saying that he is after the Triple G fight?
He's chasing Triple G.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
It's just one of those comments, isn't it?
Well, you better fight him next.
You know he's not going to fight him next. You heard
I
that?
know, but-
Did you hear that Warren interview where Warren was saying, "Oh yeah, we want Triple G in about 3 years old. In 3 years when he's older."
Was that on Eiffel London?
No, it was it was live at that event they had at the Flanagan. It was in between, you know, when they just got nothing to do and they bring Warren out and have a little interview.
Yeah.
But they don't want anything to do with Triple G.
Well,
It's just that because
we'll
he's getting
remember
negative.
this.
It's just because he's getting negative press now. He's put that statement out there.
it's going to backfire because it's going to get more negative, isn't it?
Yep.
Idiot.
Any other final thoughts, Leon?
That's it.
All right, thank you, Leon. Lim, any final thoughts, sir?
No, it was a good day. Got a good morning session at the gym. Got to see Beevil like usual. Made me work harder, grind harder, so hopefully I can get knocked out by him one day.
All right, thank you, Dan. Chew, any final thoughts?
No, really. Pacquiao Bradley's round the corner. No one seems to be talking
There's
about that.
no
fight,
hype
which-
about that fight at all.
I just think that was a mistake, that whole fight. The only hype surrounding it was Pacquiao's comments, you know, that we don't need to discuss, but I think really that is just a waste of a big fight. And no, that's about it. There's not much to talk about in boxing nowadays.
Unfortunately.
Got a dampener on it.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Chew. I want to thank you guys for jumping on the show today. Thank all the people in the chat and all the people that download the show week in, week out. We'll be back next week.